I wanted to welcome everybody here to the House of Ruth's office in Prince George's County. While we have served many people here for almost 20 years now, we're so very proud and appreciative to have this space to be able to serve the clients that we do. We have about 5 staff members who work out of this office, and we have others who come and do work from other offices who come and do work on occasion in this office. We opened our doors here in this location September 9th, and I want to tell you that the work that it took to get this place looking like it did happened from our staff. We have an awful lot of heart in this building. And it's not only staff, but it's family members, it's husbands and wives and kids. It was truly a family effort, and I hope that you can sense that as you walk through the building. Usually when introductions are made of dignitaries, the introductions are spoken in the third person. I don't want to do that. I want to speak directly to both of you, and I want to acknowledge that both of you have forever, the whole time I've been aware of both of you, been entirely supportive of the House of Ruth, of the work that we do, and of the issue of intimate partner violence. And particularly, you have a very personal understanding of the issue, and you never hesitate to speak publicly, to speak loudly. And we all know that in order to break the silence of the issue, we must speak. And so that kind of support has been completely invaluable. In addition to that, we really want to put focus on the fact that this space is a gift as a result of the relationship that we have with you and your generosity in making this happen. It started, Lieutenant Governor, with Dorothy and I sitting in your office quite some time ago, talking about the need and talking about our desire to use our funds for direct services rather than overhead. And you, thank you so much, worked together with so many people here in this room. And you also had a tremendous amount of impact in making this happen. And we're so proud for you to come and see what you have given to us and to the clients that we serve. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Sandy. I want to thank you and Mary, all the members of the board, the staff, here at the House of Ruth, and volunteers. I want to thank all the advocates in both your individual and organizational capacity and what you do as we every day in and day out, work to reduce and eliminate domestic violence. I want to thank Sheriff High and his team for what you do. I want to thank you for what you do in focusing on domestic violence and ensuring that we are coordinating our efforts, understanding as we recognize as a nation more than 15 years ago that domestic violence is not just a public safety, it's a public health issue, and bringing all of the advocacy community together. I want to thank Judge Anderson. I know she's here somewhere, and the judges who, unfortunately, in Prince George's County see more domestic violence cases than anywhere else in the state, but have dedicated judges and dockets to addressing the needs of victims of domestic violence as efficiently and fairly as possible. So I commend you as well. Together, and I want to thank my good friend Ruth Baker, because let me tell you right now, all I did was make a phone call. We had a conversation. I made a phone call. I said, Ruth, man, help. And Ruth mobilized his team, and working together was able to make this space available. So I appreciate what you've done. He's the leader of Team Prince George's County. He's our leader, a fantastic county executive, and I appreciate everything that you do, Ruth. For the last several years, all of us collectively have done a lot to take on this challenge of domestic violence. There is no family, no community, regardless of ethnicity, nationality, faith, or family origin. Domestic violence knows no boundaries. And I know many of us in this room have a story of the impact of domestic violence, either directly in our families, but that is the big tragedy of domestic violence because it impacts so much beyond family. And the injury and the death inflicted on that victim of domestic violence, the repercussions touch so many people, the family, workers, and neighbors, and it has an effect. And that's why the work that you do here at the House of Ruth is so important. the therapy that happens right here in this four walls, whether it's group therapy or individual therapy, whether you're working with the youngest or the oldest, healing and connecting back to sort of a sense of normalcy and reconnecting to family and community. The work you do is so important. So we've done a lot together collectively. We passed a law to give judges greater authority to order abusers to surrender their firearms. We passed a law that gives victims of domestic violence now the ability to apply for unemployment insurance if they have to leave their workplace because of that. We passed a law that gives victims of domestic violence who live in apartment buildings or as a tenant, they can go to their landlord and break the lease without forfeiting their security deposit if they have a protective order, or they can ask the landlord to change the locks. We've done a lot together. We've expanded the number of hospital-based domestic violence screening and referral programs. And as a result of the work that we're doing together, the good news is that over the last 7 years, we have reduced by about 20% the number of domestic violence-related assaults. And we've reduced by almost 15% the number of domestic violence-related homicides. But that's not enough, and we all know that. And that's why we continue to do the important work. I think there is a path to zero. I think there is a path where we can get to the point where there is zero domestic violence, zero children who are impacted and suffer the tragedy, zero visits to the emergency department. A reporter asked me this morning, do you really think that you can get to zero? I said, it's an aspirational goal. And we have and we will continue to quantify the progress that we want to see over a certain period of time. But we have to believe, and that's why we come to work every day, that we can and we will eliminate domestic violence. It isn't going to happen tomorrow, but it will happen in one of these tomorrows tomorrow. And we've got to believe that. And I know that's what you do, and that's why you do what you do. So I'm really, I feel privileged to be able to work with each and every one of you in this effort. But I know where the real work gets done. And the real work gets done right here and right here. So I thank you for everything that you do. County Executive Baker.
Sheriff Hobbs, you can sit over here. I certainly want to thank the Lieutenant Governor. I know he's got a busy schedule, and I want to publicly thank him for leading the charge on this effort and so many others. But this is an important one for us. We celebrate in Prince George's County the fact that our homicide rates have gone down. But if you look at the beginning of the year, the homicides that we had were all domestic violence related, intimate partner related. And when we start talking about how do you curb that, and the police chief and certainly Sheriff High has done a terrific job in being out front. Our state's attorney Angela Alsobrook, but having a leader in Annapolis who gets it, who's not new to the issue, and who cares deeply about it and brings the passion and conviction that the Lieutenant Governor does is very, very important. If we can give him another round of applause, that'd be great. Thank you. And House of Ruth, I want to thank you for being here with us and for having a reputation. Because quite honestly, if you did not have the reputation that you have for serving our community and serving so much in Prince George's County and Washington District of Columbia, we could not make this happen. I know for me personally, when I started off in my career out of law school, I worked for a nonprofit. And as those of you who work for nonprofits know, you have many jobs. And so my boss, who was a great boss, thought that since I was a lawyer, I must know something about domestic violence and dealing with our community and helping out. And we had a program, and it was my job to work with the House of Ruth. I learned so much at a very young age of what we need to do. And I've said for a long time that's what we have to partner with in Prince George's County. And I am blessed that I have, I see Teresa Grant here and many others, but Betty Hager-Francis, who never lets it go. She's the one, when the Lieutenant Governor called me, Betty, I didn't call her, she called me, and she said, we got to make this happen, and she did that. But there's so many people I want to thank. The police department. I know Assistant Chief Howard is here. They've done a great job putting together a group so that we make sure we bring the, stop the silence. So I want to thank all of them. I want to thank you especially for being in this community. in this community because we need it, and we're going to do everything that we can to help. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the sheriff, who's a real leader in this issue.
Well, certainly to the governor and the county executive and to the House of Ruth and to all of you and all of the partners that we have here. It's certainly my honor and privilege to be here and represent our sheriff's office as we talk about such an important issue in our community. And it's about helping and giving people hope that tomorrow will be better, so that, as the Lieutenant Governor said and our county executive has said, certainly our goal is zero. And we can make that happen. We just have to continue to work hard, work collaboratively at this effort, and we can make that happen. And so this is certainly a great moment. And I thank you on behalf of the Sheriff's Office and really all of our citizens that you all help for the good work you do. Thank you.
This is truly the whole purpose of gathering you together. We wanted to acknowledge the fact that so many of you have made this possible. We wanted to publicly thank our dignitaries, our leaders in this county, and we wanted to offer all of you an opportunity to see where we are, to imagine what it's like for our clients to come into this space and to be served. We serve primarily counseling work here. We have adult therapy, we have children's therapy, we have Spanish-speaking and English-speaking sessions, and sessions for children of all ages, all happening at the same time, which means that families can come together and receive the individual treatment that they need. None of that could happen without the kind of space that we have here. And I just wanted you to see and to understand how important it is to us and to the community and to those clients. Our guests have to leave. They have a very busy schedule, but I would invite anybody who would be interested to stay behind after you say your goodbyes, and we would entertain the possibility of having some kind of a dialogue around the county and what the needs are right now and how perhaps we can come together and strategize a path forward, as you so nicely said. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.